Well, come on in. It's time for the Cosmic Watch. I'm Franklin, your astrologer, and you are with We Foretell in our chat room. We'll be joined by members of the channel here. We always leave the back door open. They can come and go as they please, and these are very generous people who allow us to look into their lives with them and find out what's going on. I wouldn't be much of a sky watcher if I hadn't been up early this morning to see that full moon, and the moon is hanging with us. That moon came up in Cancer, and everyone during this time is very sensitive to these these moonbeams that are coming off and making things very dramatic, very very different because of the full moon outside. And it's a beautiful night. This is January the 6th of the new year, our first get together in 2023, and the numbers of today. Of course, we're in Capricorn still, right dead center in Capricorn now. So we're all having these Capricorn type of influences where we want to be as good as we can be. We want to be the best in the world. That's what happens to everybody while we're in Capricorn. Full moons in Cancer, our sun signs in Capricorn, and today's date adds up to 14. So if you were looking for the birth number of the people who are born on this date, on January the 6th of 2023, that would be 1 plus 4 equals 5. And 5 is the number of looking for adventures, of feeling like you've missed out on something and you want to catch up, and you double down. You do twice as much as everybody else. And as a 5, you find yourself looking for independence one day and you're dependent on other people the next day. And that's the real balance point that 5s have to look out for. That 5s have to be aware of, that they're going to be shown during their lifetime that the only way to truly be independent, to get exactly what you want, is to be dependable. Other people, when they can count on you, you then become able to count on them. And that's true. True independence is living within a small group of interdependent people, a family, or as close as people can get to it. People need to be in groups. They need each other. They need each other's validation, and that's what we're in the business of doing, is helping you find yourself and where you fit into the big picture. Uh, the Akashic records exist. My spirit guides are able to access those records, and they give me information which I know is bent for me personally. The the spirit guides, those in the unseen world, go to all the trouble to give me a personalized version of the records, meant to influence me in the way that I need to be influenced, turn me in the direction that I need to be turned in. And this is a very interesting point in that why people in the world today are the way they are. Why people think that only their religion, only their gender is blessed by God. We look like God. God is made in our image. Well, Santa Claus was made in our image. The thing about the look of God, the angels. Of course, no one sees God. No, God's busy. You cannot see God in from this sphere. What we can see are the hands and face of God, faces, through the angels. Angels came before human beings. Angels have always been here. And angels always come to humans in the form that the human will trust. They always look very much like the person who is having their epiphany, having their meeting with the angel. The angel comes to them looking like a soul that they would trust, and that almost always means looking like them. So we have 8 billion people on the earth today who think they know exactly what God looks like, and God looks exactly like them, because when they had their meeting with the spirit world, the the angel that came to them not only came to them looking like them, but also came to them through their mind, speaking in their voice. When you are talking to yourself, when you are having conversations with yourself, comparing different outcomes, trying to figure out what to do, that voice that comes to you is very often the voice of your spirit guides, and those guides speak to you in the voice you'll trust most, and that's almost always your own. And this is where we get such an ego problem that everyone has experienced since the beginning of people being on this planet. Is we are misinformed about what God looks like, what God sounds like, and we we mistakenly start imposing our views, our God's views on other people, and this is where religions make their great mistake. They don't allow the people to be the heads of the church. In anything with hierarchy, and of course that's religion, and anything with privilege built into it, any institution. And here's Karen joining us now, saying hello. Karen, have you been having fun this week, repeating last week? You know, we're right in the middle of a Mercury retrograde. It's going to go on until the 17th of this month, and the uh, the the thing that's been happening to me, I know this week, is repeats. Things you thought were going to finally be settled are just put off. Come see us next month after you've been waiting for these things. And this is we're right in the heart of it right now, Karen. So things are a little slippery. It's a slippery slope out there, and with the full moon in Cancer, you know the Cancer people are the most affected by the moon of any sign of the zodiac. And when the moon is in Cancer, we're getting this concentration of full moonlight, And it's like the difference. Daytime and nighttime is like the difference between black and white television and color television. You can see all of the colors in the daylight, but by the light of the full moon, you see colors, just different colors. You see things very differently through the light of that moon that's hanging out there right now. And here's crazy Coolius saying hi, come on in. And Demarius. Demarius, where are you joining us from, Demarius? I don't think we've had you with us before. Here's let's see. We started with Karen. Karen, if I hit a card for you, Demaria says she's from Chicago. Okay, Karen. This is about your job, and it is you moving up a level in your work. So that would be the people that you're working with and for are going to move up a level. They're going to give you more cooperation. Now, Coolios. Coolios, when I look at you, I'm seeing going back, right? People are being judged. This is exactly what's happening with the retrograde, right? You're having to repeat the old things right now. So Coolios, look for another week of repeats that are coming to you. Now, Demarius from Chicago. Demarius, when I connect with you, I'm seeing you are a very truthful person. The truth, Demarius, the truth means everything to you. You don't let people get by without telling you the truth. And honor, respect, love. That's what makes the world go round. It is how we feel about other people. And you have won the respect of the people that you're around. Demarius, that's a great sign that the people around you are giving you honest feedback. And you are giving to them to be able to be honest with people. Wow, that's the greatest thing in the world. Um, Karen says, great. The job is going to improve there, no doubt. Going up a level. And Karen says, just ended a toxic relationship. Is this over for good? You and I have been working on that question for a good while, right? And is it over for good this time? And because you said it was, right? And the answer is yes. This is people taking responsibility for what they've done and said. People getting what they deserve, and you deserve good. Here's Cody joining us, saying hi. Cody, there's let's see. I've been on hold all this week with the retrograde that's going on. This is going to happen through the 17th of this month for the retrograde. Cody is connecting with us now and dancing, having fun. Cody, it looks like what's been going on with you this week is good news. And you may be taking a new job, but not having to leave the old one. Getting to balance two things together and make it work. and it looks like you are very happy with what's going on in your life right now. And Cody says, yeah, yeah. That's a very good card. It is. That's that's you finding the balance point, and that's between the emotions and logic. You have to be logical to be in this world, but you can't live on your logic. You have to have that blend with your emotional side, and all of us are two sided. There's at least two people in everybody, and the way that you connect those two sides is by meditation. The best thing I've ever found is to open yourself and to listen. Cody says, "I was happy this week." Right about that. It really looks like you got some good news, and it concerns money and how you make money, and everybody is pretty much on hold from the this past week, and that full moon that's out there tonight is is really the tipping point. We reach tonight, tomorrow night. There's the full power of the moon out there, and then it's going to start to cut back. And one of the great powers that the moon has is to heal the human body. And the full moon every month, when the full moon comes, and here's Cody saying, got my whole TV shows VHS tape from eBay, and I finally got it. Oh man, there's a channel or two on on cable where they do nothing but promote the old tapes of the old shows, and these things will never die. Once you're on videotape, you're there forever. So the I lost my place. I forgot what I was trying to explain to you there, but it must have been something pretty good. We we are here every week, and it's a wonderful opening up. I know it is for me. It's very therapeutic to be able to discuss your inner life and all the things that really mean something to you, and the the thing that we try to do here is to show you that you're not alone. You we all are going to be affected by this retrograde. We're all going to be affected by this full moon that's out there. Cody said, got a few Jackie Gleason show episodes and other stuff. So I was very happy about that. That's um, to think of how many shows were an imitation of Jackie Gleason, of the Honeymooners. How they affected generations of people. Demarius saying that glad that we found you. Now that's a beautiful thing. That's how that's what makes it worthwhile for me, is to be able to bring people together and to see that we are all the same on the inside. Everybody has guiding spirits who are trying to help them along, and the clearer we can see the omens and the signs that they give us, the more we can believe it. And until you believe, you're not going to react on the information that you get. Once you start reacting and doing what they want you to do, you're saying thank you. Here's a crazy Coolio saying, I started baking recently and then I got distracted and left some cookie dough in the oven for a long time. I accidentally started a fire. there's there's always a reason for fire. There's and it's really not carelessness. It's that you were being told to be more careful. That was that if it was a small fire, that was a pretty easy warning that you got there. And here's Cody saying, "I got the one with the poor soul goes to fantasy land." That was the Jackie Gleason special that he worked on before. Man, man, oh man, that's television is a thing that has come about in my lifetime. I have, in my lifetime, I have never been without television, right? It's always been a part of my life. And here's Karen saying, I've been waiting for a job interview, working part time in postpartum. Will the nurse manager offer me this position? Karen, if this happens right now, um, not until somebody leaves. See, somebody has to drop out. Somebody, and maybe that's they know that somebody's on the way out. So this is why they want you. So yes, I think that you are the one who's going to benefit from this. So yeah, I think you will be offered. Uh, the the postpartum nurses can the the best psychic that I've ever talked to was Mary Ann, who was a nurse who worked with grieving parents who had lost infants and was able to communicate with those infants. And just wonderful work. Here's Crazy Coolio saying, my mom was upset for the perfect punishment. She made me eat the burnt cookies. Well, see now that is that is learning through experience, right? You'll never forget that way. It's, um, everything that comes into our life, every person that comes into your life, every event that comes into your life comes for a reason. It comes to wake you up, make you stop sleepwalking through this life. And here's Cody saying, I'll eventually be happier when I get a good job and will pay some good, decent money. Well, so let's, uh, 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 yes, she was. Yes, she was. And Mary Ann was, she's, I met her because my wife went to her when I had a heart attack out on the golf course. The first thing that my brain told me to do was call my wife. She'll make everything okay. And when I tried to call her, she couldn't answer the phone because in her hair salon, the man in her chair had a heart attack, and she was having to deal with that. And she had a very hard time um, after the fact, knowing that all of this had happened at the same time. And what Marianne helped her to see was that she was being shown all this for a reason. And the reason was that she had to know that she couldn't take care of everybody. She couldn't save the world. You When you overwork yourself, you deplete yourself, and it's that was how I got to meet the lady from Portland, Maine, and she had come to work with the hospital here in town, And after I had connected with her in person here, which was great, I talked to her on the phone for several years after that, and she told me 15 years ago that this is what she saw me doing. She of course at that time thought, well, you're going to be on television, right? Because this wasn't even a thing at that time. So and it really came to pass the way that she said it was going to, and that's what really brought me into doing this, into doing the work, trying to help people. And the the thing of being a psychic is you got to believe. If you believe in yourself, that's 90% of it. And here's Dumaria saying, "I'm receiving the message." Oh yes, yes, dear, yes. That's the everything comes to us as a message. It comes to us on sunbeams. Everything the sun bounces off everything that's out there, and then comes to us. And the the man who figured out uh, about 200 years ago how to use sun signs and do the astrology that we do today, the man who wrote under the name Alan Leo, one of his great epiphanies was that everything comes to us on sunlight, and the sun shines on each and every human on this earth in equal measure. And that was how he knew that um, everyone was the same. And see, it's Alan Leo's writings that change astrology from being just for kings and queens to being for anybody who knew their exact date of birth. And astrology suddenly was open to everyone, and it's it's such a wonderful thing because it has opened up the world. Um, this is this is about 1830 is when the queen, the young queen, was taking over in Britain. The change in thinking in Great Britain was just extraordinary. They they ended slavery, and um, we're trying to change the world for the better. It's there's always been a way of communicating with other human beings. Every human out there has intuition. Some have it um, closer to the skin than others, and that makes it more useful, where you can actually discern between what you are saying in your mind and what your spirit guides are telling you, how they're trying to influence you. Here's Cody saying, from all 12 zodiac signs of Aries to Pisces, and this is something to remember too, is that the, no one sign is has monopoly on anything. Everyone experiences all 12 of the zodiac signs, if through nothing else, through the moon sign. Moon sign changes every 2.5 days. So for every 28-day cycle, there's 13 28-day cycles in a year's time. When the the moon goes through in those 28 days each of the 12 signs of the zodiac. And that's that the moon being the closest thing to us of everything that's floating around out there in space, it has the greatest influence on us. And the moon sign can really change the overall atmosphere of the world, not just your neighborhood. And uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. There's there's so much that goes into doing astrology, and you've got really different countries or different religions um, have their own way of doing astrology. You know, the Vedic astrology of India, the Hindus. There's it's very different than say the Islamic uh, view of astrology, uh, which the difference between the astrology that I do and the Islamic astrology is the designation of the sun. In Islamic astrology, the sun represents God, and in our astrology, we use the sun to represent the strongest sign, Leo, right? And that's a real difference in thinking of do you put your faith in God, or are you a self-made person, which is of course our the viewpoint of Christianity has always been the pioneering spirit, and the evangelical spirit. We've got to turn everybody over to our religion, and this is it's such a waste of time to change other people's religion because um, it is one of the most changeable things in the world. If tomorrow there were only one religion in the world, the next day there'd be two. That's just the way that it's always worked. Demarius, is there any other questions that I can answer for you? Dear, I think this is your first time here. Any anything that's on your mind that you'd like to know about? That's um, I really I get the feeling that you're um, you're in the middle of something that you're trying to figure out. Cody's saying, I got into astrology since 4 years ago. My little sister taught me about astrology, and now she's changed her outlook about it. Change is the only inevitable thing in this or any other lifetime. How much you change is the only way you can impress God, impress the unseen world, is how much you change, how much you can grow and learn in this lifetime. I mean, you're not here to um, to go backwards. It's there's no way to do it. You can't go back in time, so you must go forward. And if you drag your feet, you find you can slow down everything. Um, it's it is a a way of communicating. That's really what. See, I use the tarot cards, and the tarot cards must have been the first way that people were able to travel to foreign countries and be able to communicate with people who did not speak their language. It's language has always been used to hide and shade the facts, to not give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Where numbers, Pythagoras said numbers are the only facts on this earth that cannot be changed by angry gods or miracles. And Alan Leo, the man we were talking about who came up with the concept of sun signs, when Alan Leo first published his book and people um, saw what he was saying, the local authorities arrested him it was against the law to do what they considered gypsy fortune telling. And Leo said, I'm not telling fortunes. What I do is no more than knowing which way the ocean current is taking your boat and where you're going to end up at. And that was his defense, and he got him off. Here's Cody saying, but I've got to enjoy learning about astrology from learning about myself and with other people as well. It has to start with yourself. All psychic work has to start with being able to read yourself. If you can't communicate with your guides, you're going to have a hard time, and that's what the tarot cards are all about. They're like a shorthand system where everyone has their guides. Their guides come to them through their voice. So when I talk to someone, say on the phone or on a video, what I hear is them talking. What my guides hear is what their guides are saying between the lines. What their guides are trying to tell them comes through to my guides, and through the tarot cards, it's a direct connection. I get the message. All I have to do is turn the card and be able to interpret it. And that's why it took me 15 years to get here, is because you have to learn how to interpret the cards. You have to accept them as true, even in your own life. This is why it's the hardest reading for any psychic is themselves, because when they get answers that they don't want, they oh well, I'll try again. And when you're doing someone else, you can't lie to them. I mean, it is what it is. And there are so many people out there who have psychic ability, have intuition. I've had people on a phone call tell me, see what card I've turned over. They can see it in my mind, and that's the reason that I got into this business. And sure, it's a business like anything else, but you're doing a service. The reason that I got into it was because I was so open, to psychic readers. You know, in almost frightening fashion. And here's Cody saying, I've learned about it from doing my research on signs with myself, celebrities, loved ones, family members. Yes, there's such a difference between the different signs as to what your possibilities are. We all have our talents and our gifts, and being able to put those to use it's the best thing in the world. And no, actually, the best thing in the world is to work for yourself. That's what can actually make you happy. Oh, here's SJ dropping in. SJ, how has your week been going? Have you been experiencing the retrograde this week and having things? Having to repeat everything in the world. Right? Oh, your son is back in the hospital. Well, on that, see there's the angel looking over him. Going to wrap their wings around him. There's fever infection, and so it's really more of the same. Right? We're in a Mercury retrograde through the 17th of the month, so you got another week probably of him having some of this, but it's going to get lighter and lighter and lighter. He'll come through it in a week's time. He'll be okay. It's it's him having to go back at this particular time is to get him out of the weather, right? Getting um, SJ is I think that your son has angels with him. He's he's uh, he's important enough that he has angels with him. He has something to do in this lifetime. He's going to get up out of that bed and go do it. Um, Cody says crazy about my family household. Oh, my mother is a Cancer, father is a Gemini, my little sister is a Sagittarius. Ooh, one of my granddaughters, 23, is Sagittarius, and boy, do they like to travel. SJ, very upset. Of course you are, dear. Of course you are. There's the the see the outcome with the boys. He's going to fight this off. He, he, he's going to come through this. Don't underestimate him wanting to stay around. He can fight this stuff off. Here's Charlie saying, "Are you familiar with antis?" I guess not. I don't, Charlie. I don't recognize the word. You're going to have to tell me. Oh, Happy New Year! Well, it has been um, a happier New Year, and that's because we went from last year's being a 6 to this year, 2023, being a 7. And 7 is about looking inside yourself, finding that everything in the universe is inside of every human. It's all there. You can access it and you can put it to use, and that's what's going to make this a better year. Is more people are going to use the spirit world. They're going to connect with the spirit world. Uh, Here's Charlie saying they are reflections around the solstice and the equinox points, like the nodes of the moon, um, the reflective lights. Uh, mm, we, we're still trying to get up to speed after the winter solstice, and the when things just come to a stop because we're going to go right back over where we just were. So that's been setting us up for what's happened this year, and that's the um, Mercury retrograde, which has really brought things to a halt. It's like it brought all of these storms that are hitting the west and the north. Demaria is saying yes. Cody, I hope next week will go pretty good for all of us. The pressure for this repeat business is going to ease up in the next week, and we still have 2 more weeks of Capricorn to go, and this between the full moon now and the new moon in 2 weeks. These are the 2 weeks when your body heals best while you're sleeping at night, right? So if you're going to have any surgery done, you want to have it done in the 2 weeks between the full moon and the new moon. This is the waning moon instead of the waxing moon. And it makes a big difference as to how fast you can recover. And, getting sleep is always the number one thing to help people recover and be able to come back after a surgery. Now, the other thing is that you don't want to have surgery on the parts of the body that are being affected by whatever sign the moon sign is in. When the moon sign is in Pisces, you don't want to have your feet worked on because they're too sensitive at that time. And each of the 12 houses comes from, top to bottom, all the way. Aries is about your head, and Pisces is about your feet, and all the others are in between. And you can really um, improve your recovery time and improve your overall condition by going by the moon signs and being being proactive. When they schedule your surgery if you can. Hoping next week, by the 20th of this month, we're going to go on to Aquarius, and for the next month, on the 19th, on to Pisces. So I'm Pisces myself, and what's going to happen here in a couple of weeks when we go to Aquarius is there's going to be an outpouring of love all around. There's Charlie saying also a Pisces. Pisces people feel things more strongly than other people do. They see things like by the light of this full moon. Pisces has night vision. They can see what's going on in your heart, what's going on in your mind, and are those two things the same? Yes, and the other thing to remember about the inside of the human body is that's where the invisible, unseen world is. They're right here with us on this planet. Uh, Here's Cody saying rising sign also in Pisces. Ooh, this is how your rising sign is how the world sees you. It's what was coming up on the horizon when you first saw light of day and when day first saw you. And this is how this Pisces for you, Cody, you're going to be seen as a dreamer. Uh-huh. And as an artist, as someone who is connected to the spirit world. That's what the rising sign is all about. And the other end of it, the rising sign here on the other horizon is where you see the world, how you see the world, whatever zodiac sign that was in there. Can you trust the world? So there's an awful lot going on. Back when they first started doing astrology, SJ say, yes, Pisces here. And Cody, I am dreamer for sure. Yes, yeah. I've known an awful lot of Pisces people in my life. And they all have those Pisces eyes. They they all they all cross their legs at their ankles to turn their feet into fins. Look more fish-like. Uh, Here's Demarius saying that's deep. Well, it's the kind of things that we're here to figure out. That's how we become enlightened. Then that's why we're here, is to become enlightened, to know that there is an uncreated creator, and that's all we know. Nobody really knows anything more than that about God. We know what we've been shown by the angels, and we also know that there are fallen angels. And those fallen angels, back in the beginning of the human race, mixed with humans. So there have always been humans who are part angel. And here's Cody saying, I'm a man with a vision with the greatest dreams and goals in life. Ah, yes, yes. And how you see yourself is the biggest determining factor of how you're going to turn out, what you're going to do. Are you going to make your mark in this world? How the world is going to accept you if you accept yourself. They will. It's how you feel about yourself that really makes a difference. Cody says, that's right. God made the world and all of us. Everything that's in this universe began as the thought of God. It's like God was asleep and God woke up and set into motion everything that God had dreamed. God has seen the universe grow from nothing to, at some point past, where we are now. So we all have our part to play. And maybe that's no more than just being an example for other people. And Lord knows, each and every one of us, all 8 billion on the planet, influence other people. We can be a good influence, and boy, can we be a bad influence. We can believe so strongly in what we believe that we try to force other people to believe it. And you can't force other people to believe anything. God made this entire world. The first thought of God was of others. That created the angels. There they were. And the angels had to learn. The fallen angels were created when there was a rift between the angels, when they were trying to decide who was going to be closest to God, when the angels started competing with each other. This is why we have the angels who were cast down to earth and who are here and have always been here. And there are now people on this planet who began thousands of years ago as the son or daughter of a fallen angel. This is what Enoch said happened with him. That the books of Enoch were removed from the Bible by the Roman emperor in the year 100 when Rome took Christianity as their faith. They had to remove the books of Enoch because the Roman emperor thought of himself as the one and only living God. And then, plus, they had to drop that part about no alcohol because they knew that the Roman emperor was never going to stop drinking. So the people have always looked for an explanation of why we're here. And I truly think, for me anyway, and that's all I can ever tell, is for me, is that I have to help other people to become enlightened. That's the only way I will ever be able to enlighten myself, is to walk in their shoes, to have compassion for other people, enough so to where I can give them the words that they need to hear at any particular time. Cody says, because I work hard on my projects, like writing down all my notes and drawing memes, ideas and visions. I know about my dreams and vision of it. And isn't it so easy to do in this day and time where entertainment is the number one industry? Entertaining each other in our leisure time has become where all of our thought and energy goes to. It's an amazing change in the world that is trying to stamp out this meanness of spirit that really has prevailed for the last 25 years. This just people cutting off their noses to spite their faces and being martyrs and never admitting that they lose. I don't think there's ever been a country who lost a war that really admitted that they lost the war. In our country, that people 100 years after the Civil War were still fighting the war. And it's just more hidden now. But there's still that Yankee rebel problem. And some people cannot forget. Once you base your life on one particular incident and you demonize your enemies, that's the worst thing you can do, is to make your enemy be the devil, and you give him great power. You give her great powers when you admit that they are a demon. Here's Samaria saying, what are shadow people and why do I see them? Spirits can be reincarnated. They can choose to be reincarnated and come back. They can choose to become spirit guides, right? And there are also spirits who are attached to certain places, a house or a corner, and this is what you're seeing in the corner of your eye, is those spirits that inhabit right there, and they're there. They're just barely out of your sight. And here's Cody saying, even I do my recordings, my dreams as well, to be able to access your dreams. That's great. That's great. That shows how blessed you are. And here's SJ saying thank you. That you're so welcome, dear. To each of the people who are in the room tonight, my thanks. And it's good to feel you again this week. I pick up such great energy. Mary is asking, can I help those shadow people? It depends on if you want to. If you light candles, ask them to come to you, invite them to come out to you. You may not actually see them, but you will hear them. You'll find out why they're there, and if there's anything that you can do to help, to make life easier or death easier on them. So yeah, you can help them. And all you have to do is tell you, right? Million blessings. So thank you so much, dear. And thanks to everyone who gets to see this video. I hope it improves the way you see yourself and the way you accept yourself, because that's how you become a blessed soul. When you bless yourself, when you can't forgive other people until you forgive yourself. And if you think God can't forgive you, whatever you did, that's what you got to get over. Yeah. Crazy Coolio said, sorry, I forgot. You do was open. And gotta go. All right. See you everybody next week. Thanks so much for being here. I'm Franklin, and I will be back same time, same place next week.